Some games hand you a shiny trophy after 20 hours. These games? They want everything, your time, your sanity, maybe even your social life. We're talking about grind. Not the good kind. The obsessive, loop till you drop, hundreds of hours kind. The kind that turns just one more quest into 3 AM regrets. I'm your host Amber, and today on Game Scene Wow, we're diving into 13 of the most grind-heavy games ever made. Titles that mock your free time and dare you to 100% them anyway. So load up your stamina bar, prep your snack inventory, and let's get into the games that demand total dedication. Coming in at number 13 is Middle-earth: Shadow of War, the game that asks, what if grinding for loot came with emotional orc drama? At first glance, it's a slick action RPG with satisfying swordplay and some light RPG systems. But once you hit the endgame, the real grind begins. That's when the Shadow Wars kick in, a gauntlet of fortress defense missions that demand hours of orc army micromanagement, upgrades, and regrinds for better gear. And the worst part? You can't skip it. You need to finish all 10 stages of these wars if you want to unlock the true ending of the story. Yes, Talion's final arc is locked behind a brutal endgame grindfest. Every fortress you lose? Back to recruiting orcs. Every weapon you want to upgrade? Back to farming specific enemy types. And let's not even talk about hunting legendary gear sets. It's like building a spreadsheet with swords. If you're a completionist, Shadow of War turns from Middle-earth epic to Mordor microeconomics real fast. At number 12, we've got Payday 2, where grinding isn't optional. It's the business model. You're a criminal mastermind pulling off heists, and at first, it's thrilling. Breaking into banks, escaping cops, and stacking cash. But if you want that 100% completion, buckle up. Because Payday 2 is all about XP farming, unlock grinding, and trying to find just the right drop. There are hundreds of weapons, mods, masks, perks, and achievements. And most of them are locked behind randomized loot drops and specific mission challenges. Want that final trophy? Cool. Just run that one heist 40 more times on overkill difficulty and pray RNG doesn't betray you again. You'll start to know every vault code, every guard route, and every hostage scream by heart. It's like Stockholm Syndrome, but with Payday masks. This is the kind of grind that blurs the line between fun and obsession. You're not playing anymore. You're clocking into your shift at Crime Co. Number 11 is GTA Online, a game where the grind is so intense. Rockstar basically built an in-game economy to mirror late-stage capitalism. Sure, the open world's amazing, and pulling off a multi-part heist with friends? Legit incredible. But if you're chasing 100% completion, every business, vehicle, collectible, race, stunt jump, and challenge, be prepared to pour in hundreds, if not thousands of hours. It starts small. Buy a garage. Then buy a bunker. Then an arcade. Then the supplies. Then staff. Then the millions of dollars required to get those deluxe cars and elite weaponized jets. Unless you're planning to spend real money on shark cards, you'll be grinding the same missions, delivery routes, and heists until you start reciting Lester's lines in your sleep. It's capitalism meets car chases, and if you want that sweet 100%, you'd better bring a spreadsheet and a therapist. Number 10 is RimWorld. The game that's less, complete the story, and more, survive long enough to question your morals. On the surface, it's a colony sim with a sci-fi twist. You build, manage, and defend a growing settlement of crash survivors. But if you're going for 100% completion, prepare for a psychological grind of micromanagement, optimization, and pure existential dread. Every pawn you recruit has needs, skills, moods, traumas. Every system, farming, research, medicine, defense, needs to be scaled and rebuilt again and again. Then there are the random events, raids, plagues, fires, and mechanoid invasions that can end your run instantly. To truly complete RimWorld, you'll need to launch a spaceship, which alone takes dozens of in-game days and tons of resources, or survive long-term on the hardest difficulty, with permadeath on. It's like Sims. If Sims constantly asked you if it's okay to harvest your dead friend's organs. At number 9 is Factorio, a game where 100% completion means becoming an obsessive machine-building god. The concept? Simple. automate everything. The reality? You're spending hundreds of hours crafting the perfect mega factory, optimizing conveyor belt angles by the pixel, and shaving off milliseconds from production chains. Want to launch your rocket and complete the game? Sure, after you unlock dozens of technologies, balance pollution, defend against alien attacks, and make sure every circuit, robot, and inserter is synced to the second. Factorio isn't a game you play. It's a lifestyle. 1 minute you're casually setting up a smelting line. Next thing you know, it's 4 a.m. and you're debugging an iron shortage like it's a software startup meltdown. 100% in Factorio is like reaching enlightenment. If enlightenment came with copper wiring, 6 spreadsheets, and a complete emotional breakdown. Coming in at number 8, it's Minecraft, the deceptively chill block game that can quietly eat hundreds of hours if you're chasing 100% completion. You might think beating the Ender Dragon is the finish line, but nope. That's barely scratching the surface. True completion means crafting every item, unlocking every advancement, exploring every biome, taming every animal, and building enough infrastructure to run your own empire. Want all the achievements? Hope you like fishing. A lot of fishing. And breeding pandas. And getting sniped by skeletons while trying to sneak into an ocean monument in your underwear. Also, let's talk resource grinding. Want full netherite gear? Time to spend hours mining ancient debris while dodging lava pools. Want a beacon? Better get a few wither skulls, which drop maybe once every 40 mobs. Minecraft at 100% becomes less about building and more about suffering gloriously in the name of digital perfection. And you'll love every block of it. At number 7, we've got Borderlands 2, the looter shooter with more grind than a skate park. This game isn't just about killing stuff with crazy guns, it's about killing the same stuff with slightly better guns forever. That grind? It's not just built in, it's a feature. If you're chasing 100%, get ready to farm bosses like the Warrior, Terramorphous, and Hyperius until you start naming your children after legendary loot drops. Want every weapon skin? Every head and costume? Every piece of DLC loot? Hope you've got the patience of a monk. Then there's the OP levels overpowered mode. After hitting max level, you unlock tougher versions of enemies with better drops and, of course, worse odds. You farm to farm harder. It's a recursive loot loop straight from Pandora's Twisted Soul. By the time you hit 100%, you'll either have a full rainbow inventory or a permanent carpal tunnel. Either way, you'll feel accomplished and exhausted. Number 6 is RuneScape, the undisputed king of medieval grind since the early 2000s. Old school RuneScape or the modern version, it doesn't matter. Completing this game 100% is basically a second career. You've got 23 different skills to max out, and some of them, like runecrafting or agility, feel designed by sadists with a calculator and no remorse. Want to 100% the quests? That's another 200 plus missions filled with puzzles, fetch quests, and moral dilemmas like, do I really want to mine 9,000 coal for one armor piece? Then there's the completionist cape, RuneScape's ultimate flex. To earn it, you'll need to finish everything in the game, including content that requires months of real-time effort. Some players spend over a decade reaching it. No joke. If you've ever wondered what it's like to watch numbers go up until your brain melts, RuneScape's got you. Number 5 is Dwarf Fortress, also known as the most complicated game ever made, with ASCII graphics. You don't just play Dwarf Fortress. You study it. You fail gloriously in it. And if you want to actually complete it, you might need a PhD in systems management and maybe a decade of free time. You manage a colony of dwarves, each with personalities, moods, injuries, and weird fixations, like being terrified of sunlight or addicted to cave lobster. Every step requires deep, complex logistics. Want to dig a mine? Better check for aquifers, structural integrity, and whether your dwarves are depressed. True 100% completion means mastering every mechanic: farming, economy, military, traps, building megastructures, surviving invasions, and dealing with fun, which in DF lingo means horrible disasters. Every fortress ends in chaos. Every grind resets with glorious failure. Dwarf Fortress isn't just grindy. It's a lifestyle of glorious collapse. Number 4 is Slay the Spire, a roguelike deck builder that starts off fun and slowly turns into your obsession. Beating the game once? That's cute. But 100%? That means beating it with every character, unlocking every card, completing all relics, and worst of all, conquering Ascension 20, where one tiny mistake ruins a perfect run. You'll find yourself replaying the same few early floors hundreds of times, searching for the right synergy between cards and hoping RNG throws you a bone. Missed a key relic?
Dead.
Drew 5 defense cards on turn 1?
Dead.
Accidentally misclicked an upgrade? You guessed it, start over. Slay the Spire is beautifully designed, brutally balanced, and relentlessly unforgiving. By the time you hit 100%, your brain will be wired like a card drafting AI, and you'll never look at a deck of cards the same way again. Taking the bronze medal at number 3 is the Disgaea Series, a tactical RPG franchise that took one look at level caps and said, why stop at 99 when you can hit level 9,999? Yes, you heard that right. In Disgaea, leveling up to 100 is beginner stuff. Want 100% completion? You'll need to grind to level 9,999 for every character, reincarnate them to reset their stats and level again, and climb the item world, a never-ending, procedurally generated dungeon that exists inside your equipment. Because yes, your sword has its own dungeon. Oh, and there's also the Cave of Ordeals, the Land of Carnage, and post-game bosses that can one-shot you if your stats aren't maxed out across 5 dimensions. Disgaea isn't grindy by accident. It's grindy by design, and proudly so. It's absurd, it's over the top, and if you're a completionist, it's the ultimate test of patience, strategy, and stubbornness. The numbers go up so high they basically break the user interface, and that's exactly what makes it beautiful. At number 2, we've got Path of Exile, the ARPG where the grind isn't just a feature, it's an entire philosophy. You start out thinking it's a Diablo-style loot fest, and it is. But as you push deeper, you realize you're inside a giant math puzzle wrapped in dungeon crawler skin. To hit 100%, you'll need to explore the entire Atlas of Worlds, conquer endgame bosses, optimize skill trees with literal hundreds of nodes, and craft gear using some of the most complex RNG systems in gaming. Grinding for currency alone can take you hundreds of hours. Want to make a god-tier build? Expect to farm for crafting materials and orb drops with a spreadsheet open beside you. Want all achievements? Better start now. You'll need to time boss phases, master league mechanics, and learn how to navigate patch notes like a Wall Street analyst.
Poe isn't a game.
It's a part-time job with skill trees. And if you're aiming for 100%, update your resume. You're officially in it for the long haul. And the king of grind takes the throne. Number 1 is Monster Hunter World. This game doesn't just challenge your reflexes, it tests your dedication to the hunt. Sure, the campaign's meaty and the monsters are epic. But if you're going for full completion, you're about to live in this game. Want every armor set? Every layered armor? Every decoration gem? You'll need to hunt the same monsters dozens of times, hoping RNG graces you with that one rare drop. Want a gold crown for every monster size? That's a grind within a grind, based on random spawn size variation. And it doesn't stop with gear. You'll also be chasing guild card milestones, weapon upgrades, arena times, and research logs. And Iceborne? Oh yeah. It doubles the grind, adds master rank, and says, here's more monsters, now suffer in style. But here's the twist. Somehow, it's all worth it. Because the grind in Monster Hunter doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like purpose. You improve. You get better. And when that rare drop finally hits, nothing else compares. Monster Hunter World is the grind, but it's also the reward. And that's the full list. 13 of the most grind-heavy games out there. And honestly, just reading this script felt like a grind. I'm not even kidding. I've played a bunch of these myself. I remember sinking way too many hours into Monster Hunter World back in 2019, and don't even get me started on RuneScape. That game basically raised me. If you've 100% D any of these, seriously, respect. You're either a completionist legend or just really, really stubborn. Maybe both. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, hit that sub button, and tell me in the comments, what's the most painful grind you've ever committed to in a game? I want to hear the horror stories. Bonus points if it made you question your life choices. I'm Amber, this is Game Scene Wow, and I'm gonna go lie down now and reflect on all the time I'll never get back. Catch you in the next one.